Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'll be reviewing Hocus Pocus 2, streaming on Disney+. So Hocus Pocus 2 is the legacy sequel to the wildly popular 1993 film Hocus Pocus, and it'll be streaming on Disney+ September 30th. And I have to say, I went into this expecting it to be maybe a cash grab. I didn't know this movie's come out so many years later. I didn't know what to expect from it. It's kind of like coming from a cult classic film. And I have to say, it actually didn't disappoint. All the actresses that played the Sanderson sisters in the classic film came back for this one, and I think they did a really good job. In particular, I think Bette Midler is just as good in this one as she is in the original film. She brings that charisma. She's like obviously a lot older now. She's an older actress, but she still does a fantastic job. I think that they all come together and kind of work off each other like they did in the original movie, and there's some surprisingly emotional moments with them that I think actually elevates it in ways that the first film didn't have. So this film follows three teenagers named Becca, Izzy, and Cassie, and they are tricked into lighting the black candle once again and spawning the Sanderson sisters are coming back to get children's souls like in the first film. And I think it's interesting how they tied this movie into the original, because the keeper of the magic shop, which was formerly the home of the Sanderson sisters, is kind of obsessed with them. He wants to meet them, he wants to bring them back, and that's why they're kind of tricked into this whole thing. And I do think it's an interesting way of bringing that original film into this one. You even get some flashbacks, some moments that tie these two together. And it's always hard in a legacy sequel that's so many years separated from the original to really make people care, make people remember, and really work on that nostalgia and not just fully 100% rely on it. And I think the movie does do a good balance of that classic nostalgia of the original film. You have those fun musical moments, the whole town coming together, kind of having these sisters be zany and over the top, and they're kind of oddball characters working off one another. So I think they did a good job of balancing those two things, because like I said, this movie could have turned out, in my opinion, really bad, and I think it's probably one of the best case scenarios for this one. Obviously, the first film, though it is a huge classic with people, it doesn't have the best critical reviews, and I have to say, this movie does have some of those same issues that the first movie has. If you look at it really critically, it's not the best, plot-wise. It's not the most incredible acting in the world. It's kind of cheesy at times, but I think it knows that it's cheesy. I think it leans into kind of what makes Hocus Pocus special for people. So if you didn't like the first one, you probably won't like this one. But if you're a fan of the first one, I think you'll be pretty satisfied. One of the special things about this movie is with it being on Disney+, I feel like it is like a classic fun family kids movie that brings back the nostalgia for parents, but young children can still enjoy it. And I love that it's up there on Disney Plus for everyone to enjoy in the holiday season. I feel like it will become like a staple in a lot of people's households. If you, like I said, if you like the original, you're going to like this. So I think it definitely adds to the franchise. Like I said, the original one had singing. This one also has singing. I think the music is fun and enjoyable. Might not be as iconic as the original movie, but maybe over time it will become that. Some fun musical moments to be had in this one and some situational comedy. Another thing that's really good in this movie is the set design, and there are some visual effects that don't look absolutely terrible. That's one of the things that I feel like people really gravitated towards in those original kind of older Halloween kids movies. It's just like the town being decorated, the costumes, kind of just the fanfare of Halloween in a small town being here in Salem, Massachusetts. So I feel like you get that captured again in this one, and the production value is even higher than the original film. This movie, I'm sure, has a much higher budget than the first one. So I do think that they excel in doing that, but they don't overdo it. It still has that charm of the original movie. So like I said, one of the greatest things about this sequel is that you have all of the original witches coming back. They don't miss a beat. It feels like they're right back into this role. When they're brought back into the town, it feels very much like you're watching these characters stop for the original movie and begin in this new one. I feel like you could watch it back to back and you would feel like it's, they don't miss a beat. They're the same people. They're doing the same, everything about the mannerisms, the singing, everything works perfectly. And it's so strange it being so separated from the original. So if I were to rate Hocus Pocus 2, I would give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's a really fun movie through like a really critical lens. It's not perfect by any means. It is a little cheesy, but I think if you're someone who goes into it loving the original movie, you'll definitely enjoy this one. If you check out Hocus Pocus 2, let me know what you thought about it. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? And I'm really interested to see someone, if you're a really big fan of the original movie, how do you feel about it? Because I'm not a huge fan of the first one, but I do think this one is just as good, if not, in the same range as that one. And if you're someone who's not a fan of the original, let me know what you think about it, because I'm really interested to see how that affects it. If this movie is more of like a nostalgia grab or people actually genuinely enjoy it. Leave those comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.